rock style.
Yeah.
You remember this? With the hitting the play on the VHS.
It's the VHS.
The VHS when we were recording videos for The Rock.
Yeah.
And then we'd play a song and hold the microphone to the song because we couldn't figure out how to... Remember that?
You know, it's pretty archaic back then.
We were like...
We were making it happen, though.
We were making it happen.
However we could.
On today's Dawn Patrol podcast, I am like fired up because I think this is our first interviewee that I've known since
long time.
None other than Mr. Brian Wiggin. What's up, Brian?
What's going on?
This is our third summer podcast, which we normally do our weekly podcast. And I'm just fired up to have you here with us to give us a little recap on who you are, your summer, your life, what moves you, what grooves you.
Yeah, excited to be here.
Yeah, good, sweet. 4 years old? 6 years old?
4 years old when we met?
Yeah.
I just remember being in your wife's nail shop and having to suffer all the smells.
It was terrible.
As my mom got her nails done.
Terrible.
I think that was the first, maybe.
The first time I met you, you were in our backyard with the apricots.
Oh, okay.
We had just bought the house, so this was in 90. When were you born?
82.
There you go. So you were 8 years old.
8 years old.
And I went, who are the two rat kids that's stealing all my apricots? Because I was waiting for them. And you were like garbage bags full of them.
I believe it.
Yeah. And tell us about Married to Jen.
Mm-hmm. 10
years now?
Oh, man. 2005. It's going to be 15 years.
15.
Shoot. No, 13 years.
13 years.
I'm really good at math.
Yep, you're an English teacher.
Yeah, science teacher. Yeah. So, it's all the same, really.
And it starts tomorrow at school.
I get kids tomorrow, yeah. Pretty early.
First day of a science teacher, you
Yeah.
want to go in big. Did you catch something on fire?
No. But we do just hit the ground running. We start off with a lab, and there's no kind of like intro, like a typical first day. It's just, let's do something.
Oh, yeah. That's why you're a great teacher. We're labbing it. You're going to cut something dead? You're going to boil something?
I'm going to make them think there's like dead things. Basically, they get a box. They have to try to figure out what's inside.
Okay.
Using all sorts of different like observation skills. And yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So
can I sit in?
Come on down, man.
Can I? Can I really?
Yeah. Just fill out a visitor form.
Day before or that day?
I don't know.
Can you figure it out? Because on a Wednesday after Dawn Patrol, I would love to sit in on a science class.
That'd be pretty fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I'll find out. I'll let you know.
Okay, let me know.
Yeah.
Because if I have to do it the day before, I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be so fun. So Jen, 13 years.
Yeah.
Oldest, Olive.
Yeah, Olive.
Olive, she's
going into 3rd grade.
Cal,
going into 1st grade.
He's pumped.
He is pumped, yeah.
No more kindergarten.
No, he's a brilliant little guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then...
Like his dad.
Like his dad.
Olive's no slouch.
No, she's not.
No.
Book a day?
Oh, or more, yeah. She just constantly reads.
And then Drake.
The man, going into his 2nd year of preschool.
So he's fired up. Is he fired up?
Oh, yeah, he loves it.
Yeah, he's like a superstar everywhere he goes.
He is. He draws a lot of attention.
And he's humble.
Yeah,
and does he like it? Does he like the attention?
Oh, yeah.
He seems to warm up to it.
He's very direct, though, too, so if he doesn't want it, he pushes you away. Mm-hmm. So he knows what he wants, yeah.
Love that. So we meet each other when you're 8, and then we re-engage when I become a youth pastor. Are your freshman year?
Yeah. Was it my freshman year?
I think it was your
freshman, sophomore. Yeah, right around
right in there. You weren't driving. I remember you got your Volkswagen station wagon.
Yeah. During that time.
Right, because our first summer camp was your first shaving experience.
Yeah,
at Sugar Pine.
At Sugar Pine.
That was
a fun summer camp.
That was a great summer camp. And so that was your freshman year, right?
Must have been.
And so wrap up, we had a great season of ministry at The Rock. And when I say The Rock, you saw the whole thing, man. You saw room 202, fireside, dragging couches up and down the street from Gene Cox's garage, to renting the liquor store, to the remodel, to the first night, to you running junior high through your first 2 years of college, called The Edge. You saw really the whole thing.
Yeah.
Wrap up that for the kiddies at home, like how will you explain that to Olive when she's in high school? Here's what I had.
How will I explain that to Olive? For me personally, I mean, it was a very, pivotal point in my life, and it was very meaningful in that, it was a great time to be engaged and to really invest myself into the church. And gosh, it was just crazy. Every day, it was new stories, about what God was doing, the opportunities that would present themselves. I mean, seeing the JR Mart go from a gutted out liquor store full of, like, can I say porno mags in the back?
Yeah.
And just garbage everywhere to, the point where there's 200 kids coming in, over 200 kids.
Amazing.
Kneeling, praying, worshiping God, and, experiencing who he is. It was incredible. I mean, it's a once in a lifetime thing.
I can't imagine your seat, because you came up and grew up through the church. And I had never been to a youth group, so I just said, hey, Lord, what would I want to come to? But you were there, and it was really stretching, I think, for the church kids, because there were, call it 20 of you guys, and we're inviting the world into your house, into your community, and you guys went with it.
Yeah.
You went with it. Some of you did.
Yeah.
Well, most of you did. Some of you didn't, because I was sensitive to how hard that must have been, because everything you knew was gone.
Yeah. I mean, no doubt about it. There were some tough points where, you're used to this close, tight little group, and now you got to share the love of, and the attention, and, I think anyone would probably struggle with that a little bit. Yeah.
And you led worship through it.
Yeah, at times.
Yep, at times. Yeah. And then that whole transition. And then you came back in and led the junior high. You were the best junior high guy. It was so fun in the gym.
Yeah, we had a good time.
You had a great
good time.
And you were powerful with those kids. Was Clay and Corey in your group?
So they were in 8th grade when I started. And then they stuck around and they would help with music. And yeah, we had a lot of fun.
You guys were leaders. Here you got freshmen in high school, sticking around junior high to help with worship, and then up the street at the Rock.
Yeah.
You guys, everybody was leading.
There were a lot, yeah. No, it was a very good group to be around and to learn from too. And, Corey and Clay, they're just top-notch guys.
Top-notch guys. Yeah. Did you see Corey's thing in Wyoming? What's he doing in Wyoming?
I saw a picture of him
he's like
holding a horse.
He's fantastic.
I think he is discovering himself, who he truly is inside. Yeah.
And it's manly.
Yeah. I think he's going to have a horse in his future.
That's fantastic. Hey, we could stay all day on we should have a great rock night together where
That'd be fun.
Just share stories and all that would be fun. When you think of Dawn Patrol, because it was such a blessing for me, someone who's known you from 8 years old, seen you in different seasons of your life, your wedding, the premarital that we did together with Jen on our couch with Kath was just rich in our hearts. Fell in love with Jen and you as a couple. So here's man Brian. And then to watch you show up at Dawn Patrol, a busy man, father of 3, teacher. Wrap up Dawn Patrol. Explain that to Cal. Here's what we did.
Dawn Patrol, for me, offered a very necessary thing that I needed in my life. The opportunity to be around other men, to have the word spoken in a very real, very relatable, relaxed, casual, but meaningful way. There was this fellowship that happened at Dawn Patrol that even though there were, how many guys go?
Yeah, 100.
Even though with so many guys, you still felt like you were part of this tight group and that we were all walking on a path together and that, with all of our imperfections and everything, we're just trying to do our best, trying to grow and doing the best we can.
What do you because I miss it. And I'm just the guy that's flapping my lips.
Yeah.
But I miss how do you get 100 guys to do what you just said, be all in the same space? Not physical space, but spiritually and as men. You know, what do you think it is? As I'm trying to put my finger on it.
I think it takes a lot of vulnerability for guys to be able to admit what their struggles are and what their hardships are. And I think that once that happens, a lot of connection can happen. And then nobody is feeling like they have to put up some sort of front, but the walls get broken down, and then we can be real together, and we can, you know, ask some of those hard questions together. And
Hard questions.
hard questions, uncomfortable questions. And, you know, and I feel like it helps having someone up front who also is sharing a lot of what's going on in their life and things that they're struggling with, because it just creates a good model for everyone else.
Never once has there been a pretense. Listen to you say that. There's no place for pretending. I think if you're pretending, you're uncomfortable there.
Yeah. I think the guys who are there, they want that. They really do.
Yeah.
And they're tired of that, pretending and trying to pretend like they have it all together. But that vulnerability, there's something so attractive about it, and real about it, that I think a lot of guys say that's what's missing in my life, and I really need that.
Yeah.
Because without it, you're not going to grow.
You had that in a sense with your brother and your dad. You know, even your dad was quiet, but he was a presence in your life.
Yeah.
Of a great model of what a man that goes through. I mean, that's why you bust yourself in the face with a crowbar. Got stitches on his lips for the kiddies at home. And proceed in the project before you go. You know, that's because it was modeled, I would imagine.
What was modeled?
Pressing on.
Yeah, sure.
Men press
Absolutely.
on.
Absolutely.
And there's a even in imperfection
Yeah.
and in weakness, we press on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love your dad.
He's a great guy.
He's a
Rob Wiggin.
He's a legend.
Robbie Wiggin. Yeah.
First time I surfed, I think with you guys, he came
Did he?
to Cal's.
Probably, yeah. No, he was always the one who would take us, and yeah. And he's had so much go on in his life, like hard things, but yeah. He's pressed on and kept going.
Mary Poppins. How was that?
Oh my
You were
gosh.
like, again, killing it in Mary Poppins. It just ended.
Mary Poppins was role of a lifetime for me. I think I wrote that somewhere on my Instagram.
Yeah.
But I loved the movie. We watch it as a family at least once a month, if not more. And I love that character of the dad and the transition he goes through, and, you know, can relate to all the things that he's going through. And so when it came up that Mary Poppins was going to be the musical, I was like, I have to audition. Because I was even debating, am I going to try to get involved? But there was no question. And when I got that role, I was just so stoked.
Really?
Yeah.
Because when you got Gaston, I thought that was the role of a lifetime.
That was fun, man. And that, you know, they're just so different, both of the roles. And they were fun and great in their own way. But
so when you say you could relate to him, how?
Oh, gosh. Just prioritizing family over everything else is really what it comes down to.
Right.
You know, in the story, he's so focused on his job and advancing and like building a life for himself, doesn't even have time for the kids. The kids are an afterthought. And it's like, all of this is for my legacy and my future family. But then realizing, no, what really matters is actually that meaningful, thoughtful time and loving the kids. Investing in them.
Mr. Banks.
Yeah. It was great. Loved every minute.
So good. You were so,
Thank
so
you.
good. Was there any transformation in your own life and fatherhood and parenthood as you moved through the summer?
Oh man.
Like an awareness or a...
You know, I mean, there were definitely times during the summer when I would have those moments of, you know, I'm either I'm bored or I have other things that I want to do that day, projects I want to get done, errands I need to, you know, take care of, and then it's like, you know what? No, let's just grab the kids and go to the zoo. Let's go to the pool. That other stuff can wait.
Yeah.
You know, what matters is investing in the family. So
It surprises me to hear you say that because I've always admired how you parent. And I admire how you handle your career and your profession. And, you guys were in Washington for a stint.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, what's Brian going to do? How's this going to...
I was wondering the same thing.
What's going to happen?
Yeah.
And much like my son Elias, you just seem like, maybe I'm misreading, just so focused and purposeful, but relaxed about it. We're going to see how this unfolds. We're going to go counterculture, even with the truck. And content, you seem so content. Jen, content. Who you are, where you're at, what's coming tomorrow, where you've been yesterday. There just seems like there's this space that you guys have managed to reach that is beautiful. Does it feel like you're in that space, or does it feel...
I would say speaking for both of us, we've always had kind of that attitude of let's see what happens. We have our own plans for our life and things that we'd like to see happen, but we understand also life happens, and God can throw you a curveball here and there, and a lot of times we just kind of wait and see like what God's got in store, and it can be tough. Like right now, I mean, shoot, I want to move into a house and be a homeowner, but it just doesn't really seem like it's the right time for that, kind of thing. So it's usually pretty easy for us to kind of accept our situation and trust that, hey, we're going to live life where we're at right now, not miss anything, and just trust that God will keep moving us forward and stay with us.
Yeah, and he seems to be.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, we're crazy blessed. Yeah. You
are blessed. When you talk about Mr. Banks' transformation, when do you think your biggest transformation was, just where you kind of, as a young man or whenever it was, when did you wake up and say, you know what, I'm going this way, I'm letting this go, and I'm pursuing the Lord in this sense? When was your big awakening?
I think that there's been multiple awakenings like that. One of them, that the first one that came to mind, was in college when I had no idea what I wanted to do growing up. I had lots of ideas. That was the problem. And so I ended up just doing 2 years at Chabot and then going to Simpson, following my brother there because I had no idea where I wanted to go. Getting involved I signed up for all the business classes there, and then after my first week meeting with counselor and everything, realizing, oh yeah, I've got a lot more school ahead of me if that's what I want to do, and do I even really want to do it? And I had loved all the Bible classes that I was taking, and just decided, you know what, forget it. I'm enjoying the Bible classes. I have no idea what I want to do with it, but it just feels right. It feels like this is a great opportunity, so changed my major to Bible and theology, and went with it. So I guess for me that was an example of following, I feel like it was God's leading and leaving my own expectations and aspirations behind, in a sense. Yeah,
that was an awakening.
It was, for sure. Yeah.
Right when you said that, Bible and theology degree, total, in my mind, science teacher.
Yeah, I don't. How did you explain that? Broadcast that.
Yeah. How did you explain that one when you got the job?
It was funny, I was open and upfront about it when I was in my interview, and the thing was, I had done everything. I took the classes at Cal State East Bay. I got my credential, took all the science tests that I needed to take. So I had gone through all the hoops and said, look, I'm qualified to do this. But yes, my background is in Bible and theology, but science has always been a big part of my life. My dad was a science teacher.
Yeah. I think the two actually go hand in hand, personally.
I do, and I could explain that to certain people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
certain people.
Not my boss in an interview.
And not a lot of Christians wouldn't get it.
I think a lot might, a lot might not. Yeah. It just depends. But yeah, for sure, because science is all about, understanding the world around us, and I think God's awesomeness is revealed a lot in that exploration.
Romans 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right there.
Yeah.
Hey, two things I want to just ask you before we wrap this thing up. What excites you this week?
This week.
Like you're going to go to bed tonight and go, oh, I can't wait for this.
Friday after school. being
First
done
week
with
of
my
school.
first week. No.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I don't have a whole lot of trepidation about
Yeah.
getting back into it. What excites me, actually routine. Getting back into some routine, because summer is so just all over the place. There's no set schedule. It's just every day is different. Wake up at different times, you know. Sometimes Jen and I just don't have a plan at all for the day. And I'm like, well, what are we going to do? I don't know. Let's sit around and drink coffee and listen to music for 2 hours, which is pretty awesome. I'm going to miss that, but routine is nice, even though it's going to work and everything. There's something about that for sure.
What excites you about this year?
This year, man. I'm always excited about what we're going to do together as a family, and watching my kids grow and develop, and, you know, seeing how our family changes. You know, there's probably a ton of other things that I could, you know, pinpoint, like actual, you know, maybe a trip or something like that that I'm really excited about. But in general, that's what I'm excited. I'm excited about going hunting. I'm excited about going backpacking. I'm excited about taking trips to, you know, Washington to see family. But I've got a lot of things to be excited about.
What do you hunt?
So far, just birds, but we're gonna try to hunt. Go on a deer hunting trip this year. And
really?
Yeah, just some friends. We just decided let's try this out.
You are a multi-leveled, complex, creative, borderline genius. I mean, you are so sincerely,
I don't know
and
about
how you
that.
carry yourself. I think in the truest sense of genius, who is not so much. Well, we don't need to go into my definition of genius, but you are a free man who thinks freely and comes to conclusions. The most free thinkers you see don't come to resolve. But I love how you think freely and openly, but come to a great resolve. And then live your life based on those resolves. I mean, who has a refrigerator in their garage? Just that. Your man cave is one of the best man caves. And it's not just a refrigerator in the garage, but the whole thing.
Yeah.
And what happens in those spaces. And you provide that. You know, that's just one element of how you bring people together, how you teach science, how you love your family, how you serve your Lord. It's beautiful. And how you honor your extended family and grandparents. And that, you're just awesome to watch.
Thanks, man.
Really awesome to watch. What is, closing question, and I'm just curious, your most influential or favorite movie?
Oh my gosh. I already talked about Mary Poppins, but influential favorite movie.
Awaken something in you point to?
You know, in college I watched this one movie on loop in my dorm, and it was Wes Anderson's Royal Tenenbaums. What is it about that movie? I don't know. The characters, the writing, it's
how it's
definitely
made.
One of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
And I love the story arc too. The whole transition the family goes through, coming back, their dad trying to reconnect, and them coming together. It's actually pretty beautiful little story.
It really is.
Yeah.
I really love that movie as well, but I won't say it's my most influential.
Most influential? No, I don't know. I'd have to think more about that.
Yeah, you'd have to think about that. Dude, what are you looking forward to most about returning to Dawn Patrol?
You know, I felt like Dawn Patrol kind of gave me like a little bit of a compass, a little bit of direction for my days and my week. Kept me on track. I'm looking forward to that.
Yep.
Going back to that for sure.
Yep. And the guys, September 5th, new series, Tombstone, learning to recognize, seize, and then live out those moments that God puts on a tee for us that become part of the legacy he gets to point at. If we can recognize them. September 5th.
Can't wait.
Tombstone. Looking at the greats, men and women in Old and New Testament, even the one-liners and guys with no name that have a legacy in Scripture. Some good legacies, some not. This song reminds me of you and Jen. Got myself a gospel Catwoman. My friend Brian Bent. You met him?
Yeah.
He's got a little reggae band. Not reggae. What do you call it? Rockabilly band.
This is Brian Bent?
This is Brian Bent.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to download this.
It's fantastic. It's good 3 albums. This is the Pioneers Gospel Catwoman.
That's great.
Kiddies at home haven't heard this song yet. Here's Jen. Think of Jen when he gets into the thing.
Love rockabilly.
You gotta put some of this in the Dawn Patrol playlist. That's not the lyric. That's not the chorus.
No, is it the right song?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's the right song.
I believe you.
I got myself a gospel Catwoman.
Yeah.
Who saved my life.
Ah.
That's the whole album. That's his wife. Who went to Hayward High. Thank you very much.
That's right.
Can't listen to the whole thing. Download it. Got myself a gospel. Her ears are like a cat. Come on. Jen? She don't put up with pirates when they start their this and that?
Oh, man.
That's Jen. Brian Wiggin, have a great summer.
Hey,
See you guys on September 5th.